better go streaming. So I'm going live. Going live, going live, going live, going live, going live, and according to YouTube, I am live. Hello to watchers live, hello to watching playback, and welcome to my 35th I Have a Lot to Say live stream on this channel. Now, basically, if you don't know what these live streams are, essentially once or twice, or maybe even 3 times a week, I talk about current movie and TV topics going on in the movie and TV world right now. And at the same time, though, I'll also be answering any live questions sent in during this live stream. And please do, by the way, please do send in a live question if you do. And also, by the way, I'm getting an error message already that my stream on OBS isn't receiving enough enough video to maintain smooth streaming. So that's already good. So the stream could already mess up already. So that's with this live stream. But anyway, like I said before, if you have a live question you want to send in during this live stream, please do it in the comment section below, in the live chat more like, and I'll probably answer it the best I can during this live stream. I'd love to have a live question sent in. And at the same time, though, also if you have a topic you want me to talk about in my next live stream, please let me know in the comment section below, and I'll probably talk about it in my next live stream. And at the same time, though, I've got some other things, so some other house cleaning items off the bat. First of all, I live in the countryside, and I do get hay fever, so at any point I do sneeze on this live stream, I do apologise, it's kind of out of my control. And at the same time, though, I also live next to a main road, and there's a lot of like cars and loud motorbikes and loud trucks and tractors that go past all the time. So at any point you do hear some like sound effects like a loud motorbike going past, I do apologise. It's also out of my control. And at the same time, though, also even so I live in the countryside, sometimes it does feel like I live next to a building site. Honestly, there's always some sort of drilling or just some work going on the houses next to me. And so at any point, if you do hear some like drilling or just work going on the houses next to me, at any point on the live stream, and again into the sound of the live stream, I do apologise. Anyway, that should be some of the other housekeeping announcements off the bat. I've got one other thing to say. Kind of already said already, but apologies if the stream cuts in and out during this live stream today. I'm doing this on OBS, and sometimes I get an error message that comes up on YouTube. It says like YouTube is not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming. So that's already come up for today. So fingers crossed it doesn't come up again today during this live stream, because hopefully the stream will run smoothly. But I do know that in my past couple of live streams, the stream has been cut in and out. And by the way, I don't always know when it does. So if it does cut in and out during this live stream, I do apologize about that. That's out of my control as well. But anyway, I've just been thinking, actually, before I get into my main topic today, I haven't actually done anything on this channel since the 16th of September. I'm pretty sure I said, actually, on the 16th, or was it 16th, or did I do a live stream on the 17th, actually? No, I think it was the 17th. Yeah, I did a live stream last Friday. I think last Friday was the 17th. I did a live stream, didn't I? Yeah, I did a live stream where I said I was going to be busy till next Wednesday, and here we are, it's next Wednesday. And actually, in the couple of days that I've had really nothing to do, I've just kind of been lazing about my house, I actually just binge watched the whole, all 3 seasons of Sex Education, and I think it's brilliant, by the way. I'm going to make a video of it on this channel pretty soon, probably like a big review that I'll do on this channel pretty soon. I don't know when that'll be up, by the way, maybe Friday, I don't know, it depends on how busy I'm going to be, because I do have a couple of things on in the next couple of days. But nevertheless, I'm going to make a video on Sex Education, because I just binge watch all 3 seasons, which I rarely ever do, over about 3 days, and honestly, I absolutely adore it, so I can't wait to make a video of it, actually. It's going to be really exciting. But anyway, yes, that's why I've been doing, well, I've been busy as well. I've just been watching Sex Education. No, I've been busy doing other stuff as well. I had to go out on Monday. I had a bit of uni stuff to do and going back to uni soon and everything like that. But nevertheless, yeah, I've been busy over the weekend, and I was busy over the past couple of days. But I'm back now, back doing YouTube stuff. I don't know when my next live stream is going to be, actually. It might be tomorrow. I might try and do one tomorrow. We'll have to wait and see. We'll wait and see when I next do a live stream. But until then, let's carry on with this live stream, shall we? By the way, I'm not feeling 100% today. I must admit, I'm not feeling 100%. I'm feeling about 50% today, because I'm on a diet right now. I'm not gonna lie, it's not the best for me. It kind of takes all the energy out of me, but you know, nevertheless, you guys probably don't care about that. So yeah, if you're wondering why I'm a bit down today, it's because I don't have the best energy. Let's just say that. Let's just say that, shall we? Anyway, let's get on to topic number 1 today. Let's go on to my first main topic today. So my first main topic today is all about Amazon Prime's Lord of the Rings TV show, which apparently is coming out next year. And by the way, this poster that I have up here, next to me on the screen there, that's not actually from the Amazon Lord of the Rings show. That's actually from the Lord of the Rings films, which are really, in my opinion, absolute masterpieces. And yeah, so I like this little poster though. I think it's from Fellowship of the Ring, actually, and I like Fellowship of the Ring quite a lot. But anyway, let's talk about Amazon Lord of the Rings series. So basically, just gonna get the tabs back up there. So basically, Yeah, it was announced, I think, all the way back in 2019 that Amazon Prime were doing their own Lord of the Rings show. And then I'm pretty sure nothing really happened about it in 2019 until 2020. And then obviously the pandemic would have affected everything. But still, nothing was really said about it until 2020 when a full cast was announced. So maybe there was quite a lot of stuff going behind the scenes, but there was nothing officially said about it for a long while. But nevertheless, a whole cast was announced, and they've been shooting the movie. Well, shooting the movie, should I say? Shooting the show for like over. I think they were shooting the show for like over. I don't know. Like it was like 8 months they were shooting the show for. They've been shooting the show for ages, and basically it's going to be the most expensive TV show of all time. Yes, it's going to be more expensive than Game of Thrones. It's going to be more expensive than Stranger Things. It's going to be more expensive than Mandalorian. More expensive than any Marvel Disney Plus show I've already had as well. It's going to be the most expensive TV show of all time. I know we're talking about how much this show actually costs pretty shortly in this live stream, but nevertheless, it's going to be huge. Because bear in mind, it's Lord of the Rings, and that's, I don't know. I'm not that excited for it, I must admit. I'll definitely watch it because it's Lord of the Rings, and I'm a huge fan of Lord of the Rings films and the Hobbit films as well. I must admit, I unconditionally love the Hobbit films. I love the Hobbit films. I really do, because I was never one person who, I mean, my brother always grew up with Lord of the Rings films. He absolutely loves them, but I never really grew up with Lord of the Rings films. I didn't really like them growing up, to be honest. I mean, now I absolutely adore them, and I just start thinking, what was going on about? Oh wait, when I was young and growing up, why didn't I not like these films? Because I actually went to go watch them about 3 years ago, and I absolutely adored Lord of the Rings films. But I remember. I think it was 2014. I went to go and watch. Was it when did the first Hobbit film come out? I think it was 2012. The 2012, I went to go and watch the first Hobbit film, and I really didn't want to go. I was really, not looking forward to it. I was like, oh my god, it's gonna be 3 hours. It's gonna be the most boring 3 hours of my life. And then I get in the cinema, and I'm like, okay, let's just sit through it. Let's see if it's any good. And actually, I remember about the first half an hour and just hearing the Howard Shore score into like Martin Freeman's performance, and actually really enjoying it. And actually, I think the first Hobbit film is really good. By the way, I mean, over time I've seen there's quite a few problems with it, don't get me wrong, whenever we watch the film, but nevertheless, I still enjoy the first Hobbit film quite a lot, and I enjoy the second and third Hobbit films as well. But at the same time, though, it was around about after I watched the second Hobbit film actually that I really got into Lord of the Rings. So more than 3 years ago, I got into it quite a while back, and now I actually adore Lord of the Rings films. The thing is, though, I never felt like after I watched Return of the King, I never felt like the final Lord of the Rings films, the final Lord of the Rings film. I never felt like I needed to have a Lord of the Rings TV show, I must admit. And so I do think the Lord of the Rings TV show is kind of Amazon's version of Game of Thrones. Like, all these streaming services nowadays are trying to do their own version of Game of Thrones. Like, Netflix is doing The Witcher, and that's fine. I'm quite enjoying The Witcher. You can still enjoy all this stuff. I'm not, just because it's going to be like their version of Game of Thrones doesn't mean you can't enjoy it. It's just, there's quite a lot of streaming services doing all that at the moment. But, Netflix have The Witcher, and I get it, yeah, The Witcher is based on the books and the game, whatnot. But still, from someone like me who hasn't read the books, or, played The Witcher game, I'm watching The Witcher thinking, okay, this is Netflix's Game of Thrones. Before Game of Thrones went bad season 8, which, let's not talk about Game of Thrones season 8, because it's quite disappointing. But you get my point. I think all of these streaming services are trying to replicate that success of Game of Thrones from like seasons 1 through 7, and even season 8, to be honest. Season 8 was successful, maybe not critics-wise, but it was very successful economically, and, it did well. It did very well, and it got big audiences watching the show, and even now, you've got to have HBO trying to do their own Game of Thrones spin-off, which you're going to have like Matt Smith and Olivia Cooking and things like that, and that's being filmed at the moment. And then you got this for Amazon Prime, and even so Disney Plus doesn't have one, they do have the Willow TV show coming soon. And even so, yes, that's Willow, and I know that's based on like the 1980s movie, which was directed by Ron Howard. Yes, I know Willow is based, it's going to be like a spin-off of the film. I wouldn't be surprised if it's like kind of Game of Thrones-esque in some parts. Maybe not as graphic as Game of Thrones, but I wouldn't be surprised if they try and do something Game of Thrones-esque with that Willow TV show, which I think is coming out next year on Disney Plus. So you get the point. All these streaming services at the moment, whether it's Witcher, what should I say? Whether it's Netflix, whether it's Amazon Prime, whether it's Disney Plus, or whether it's HBO or HBO Max, should I say, they're all trying to do their own Game of Thrones. And that's what I feel Lord of the Rings is going to be for Amazon Prime. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. Maybe I actually really like it. Maybe I like that it's kind of like, I don't know, a different sort of Game of Thrones, you get what I mean? Because I really like Game of Thrones season 1 through 7. And by the way, I don't understand the people who didn't like Game of Thrones season 7. I personally think it was brilliant, season 7 of Game of Thrones. I think season 8 was massively disappointing, but I think season 8 was absolutely fantastic. But the thing is, though, if it's like a different sort of style to Game of Thrones seasons 1 through 7, but it's still kind of the same style, I'll be fine with it, in my opinion. I actually kind of look forward to that. And, it could be absolutely brilliant. Bear in mind, a lot of money has been spent on the show as a whole. It's going to have 20 episodes as well, can we find out? Maybe that's why it took so long to make, because I'm pretty sure, yeah, I can't remember the last TV show that was 20 episodes long. The last drama TV show that's 20 episodes long. I mean, obviously, there's a lot of comedy TV shows that are like 24 episodes long. But nevertheless, I can't remember a drama show which is, 20 episodes long. And bear in mind, each episode could be about 10 minutes long. I don't think they will be, by the way. I think the shortest episodes will be about half an hour long. But nevertheless, that's still a lot of production going into those episodes. And also, they got famous directors working on it. Like, they have G.A. Bonnier, I might pronounce his name, I probably am, who actually directed, most recently, Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. And he also directed The Impossible, the film of Ewan McGregor and Naomi Watts, not too long ago, back in 2014, actually. So, they got good directors working on the show and things like that. It sounds like it could have a lot of good things going into it. I must admit, I'm just not that excited for it. And if I'm more excited for the Obi-Wan TV show coming out next year than this, I've got to admit, because even though I love the Lord of the Rings films, I love them now anyway, even though I do really love those films, I never felt the need for a Lord of the Rings TV show. I just never felt the need for it. And it could be brilliant. It could be absolutely brilliant. I'm not that excited for it, I must admit. However, most recently, there's been some news about the show. And I'm going to be covering a couple of little bits of news that caught my eye over the past couple of months about Amazon's Lord of the Rings TV show. So we jump onto Google here. Give me a sec. Optical illusion. Here we go. Here. So basically, since it was 2017, that's when this show was announced, 2017, and I'm pretty sure they only just shot it last year, and they shot it in New Zealand, by the way, which is great, because obviously New Zealand is where The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings originally shot. I almost said Game of Thrones is shot, no, it's where The Lord of the Rings is shot, which makes a lot more sense, by the way, I'm only getting mixed up, but anyway, yeah, they shot it in New Zealand, where Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit were both shot, which makes a lot of sense, and it was announced back in 2017 though, and we're only going to get it next year. And it's like, why did it take so long to make? But anyway, and while there's no trailer or concrete release date for the show, by the way, there is kind of a release date. It's 2022, although there's no specific release date, so they're kind of right there. But a handful of other noteworthy details about the series have been released since its announcement. Perhaps the most startling, the total price tag for the first season of the show is estimated to come. It's estimated to come in at $450 million. Bear in mind, that's only the first season. We're not even talking about, because as the seasons go by, it's going to get more and more expensive. So that's how much is season 2 going to cost then? How much is season 3 going to cost? And maybe they cut down on the cost because I do know they're moving to the UK to shoot season 2. But nevertheless, I don't know. $450 million for the first season of a show, which might not even be a hit, by the way. Amazon Prime, it's a famous streaming service and things like that, but it doesn't, with Disney Plus, it has Stars and Marvel at the moment. Is Amazon Prime really getting the big enough audience that they need to do this? But nevertheless, the show is going to cost $450 million, which will make it the most expensive TV show of all time. That's a fact, by the way. According to New Zealand Public and Stuff, the amount was there, and basically, yeah. That's what this is going on about, and also, by the way, the show will be set in a millennia before the events of The Hobbit, so it's set way before the events of The Hobbit, although apparently it's going to share some characters with The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings films, like apparently Galadriel is going to be in there, it was obviously Kate Blanchett's character from the films, and yeah, so it's going to share some characters, but apparently it's way before the events of The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings. And also, it's going to have a place like the Misty Mountains in there, which people might know from obviously the Hobbit films as well, like that. And even Lord of the Rings, by the way. I think they're in Lord of the Rings. But yes, basically a couple months back, I don't even know when this was, it was reported that Lord of the Rings has finally wrapped shooting, and we had that first official photo released. And many people speculate, by the way, that photo is linked to, I don't know if anyone remembers, the ending of Return of the King, where, spoiler alert here, you haven't seen the third Lord of the Rings film, spoiler alert, Bilbo Baggins, very old Bilbo Baggins by that point, and Frodo go off into the sunset with the elves and things like that. It's a very sad ending, but it's a brilliant ending, by the way, very sad though, it always makes me tear up a little bit, but yes, they have it. Lord of the Rings wraps filming. Many people. That's I lost my train of thought. That's what I was going on about. That image apparently might relate to the end of the Return of the King. Like it's the same place where that's all taking place. But I don't know, there's just been some speculation online about that. But The Lord of the Rings wraps filming with behind-the-scenes images. Someone's feeling confident. Just yesterday, Amazon Prime Video released the first image from its ambitious, expensive Lord of the Rings series, which is set during the Second Age of Middle-earth. It is also revealed a premiere date will head back to J.R. Tolkien's Fantasy World. Oh yeah, there is a premiere date, so this is way after the last article. September 2nd, 2022. So it's a while away, yeah? It's a while away. But nevertheless, when you think about it, it's less than a year away now, which is kind of exciting in itself. I mean, I'm not that excited for the show, but I'm definitely intrigued in it. So maybe it's intriguing in itself. But anyway, now the Lord of the Rings Twitter account has announced that filming on the first season of the show has wrapped, and Amazon is celebrating by giving us a look at some of the professionals who made it happen. So you have, thank you, director G.A. Bayona, that's his name, Bayona, who obviously he's one of the people who directed some of the episodes of the Lord of the Rings show. Like I said before, he also directed Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, and even so, I wasn't the biggest fan of the last Jurassic World film, Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, which he directed. I did think it was a well-directed film. It was a well-made film. I just wasn't a big fan of the script of that film, but nevertheless, I did think it was well made. He also directed Impossible back in 2014 as well. And then here's some other directors as well that worked on the show, some other behind-the-scenes stuff. And by the way, they shot this during COVID, and I know it was COVID in New Zealand, so it wasn't as bad, because I know in New Zealand it calmed down for quite a bit. I don't know if it's bad now. I've heard, I'm not entirely sure on COVID and stuff like that. I don't really know stuff about COVID, but nevertheless, they shot it over the pandemic, which I'm kind of impressed with. I'm always impressed with stuff that is shot over the pandemic, because I know how difficult that can be. But anyway, look at some of the fantastic shots and some of the locations, by the way, that some of the cameramen are just out here. Looks really good. That looks really good that they film on location, things like that. And also, basically, the show wrapped and things like that. I'm going to get a release date now. I've got a first official image release. I'll just show people that one more time. So there you go. First official image release from the Lord of the Rings TV show. But also, let's have a look at this. While neither writer-director Peter Jackson nor the original cast are part of the Amazon Studios Lord of the Rings series, Deadline hears there may well be an important part of familiarity. Howard Shore, whose work on the Middle-earth trilogy won him 3 Oscars, is in talks to compose the music for the TV series. This is an important development for a series that carries a reported cost of $465 million for its first season, making it the most expensive TV show of all time. The so far untitled series, based on J.R. Tolkien's classic novels, recently wrapped principal photography on season 1 and is scheduled to premiere on Prime Video September 2nd, 2022. Season 1 post-production will continue in New Zealand through June 2022, and pre-production of season 2 will begin concurrently in the UK right after Jan the 1st, 2022. So they've already greenlit season 2 there, which I think is important to know as well, and we'll get back onto that. But what I also want to know about is the fact that Howard Shore may be returning. Now, we don't know who Howard Shore is. He composed the music for all 3 Lord of the Rings films and all 3 Hobbit films, and even so, he didn't win any awards for Hobbit scores. By the way, the scores for the Hobbit films are still very good in my opinion, but even so, he didn't win any scores for the Hobbit films. He didn't win any scores, didn't win any awards for the Hobbit films. He did win, I think, Best Original Score for the first Lord of the Rings film. I'm not sure if he won it for the second, but he definitely won it for the third as well. Because, Return of the King famously won like 11 Oscars when it came out. So, there's that. And, the thing I loved about Howard Shore's scores for any of the Middle-earth films, with the Hobbit films or Lord of the Rings films, is just immediately immerse you in those worlds. Honestly, as soon as you hear, the Hobbit theme, dum 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 dum. As soon as you hear that theme, you're immediately transported back to Middle-earth. That's what's so fantastic about the scores for all 3 Hobbit films and all 3 Lord of the Rings films. As soon as you hear that score, you're in Lord of the Rings, you're in the world of Lord of the Rings, you're in the world of the Hobbit, and you just absolutely adore it. And so many other themes like that as well, like the orc themes in Lord of the Rings films. You also get the dragon theme, Smaug theme in the Hobbit films. You also get the elves, the Riverdale theme in the Lord of the Rings and the Hobbit films. So many other examples as well. Immediately as you hear those scores, you're transported back to those films, and in the best way possible. And that's why I think he's absolutely fantastic. But that's also why I'm surprised that he's coming back for this, because I thought they would get like a new composer, like potentially Ramin Djawadi, am I pronouncing his name by the way, who actually composed music for the Game of Thrones, for all, all 8 seasons of Game of Thrones. They did a fantastic job, even on his score for the 8 seasons of Game of Thrones. I thought they would get him to do it. Maybe it's because he's actually working on the new Game of Thrones spin-off, so maybe that's not why he's doing it. But yeah, I thought they'd get him to do it actually, because I think he's quite popular right now. I know he's doing the score for the Eternals, which just seems to come out. But things like that, yeah, I thought they get Ramin Djawadi, and might pronounce his name again. Apologies if I am. Do go look up his scores, by the way. I think Ramin Djawadi did a superb job on all 8 seasons of Game of Thrones. By the way, on the music and all 8 seasons of Game of Thrones is so brilliant, and I thought they would get him to do it. But apparently, getting Howard Shaw in there, which actually surprised me, because first of all, and this is just me, I don't know Howard Shaw did music for any other TV show beforehand, and second of all, it just, I don't know, I just didn't expect them to get Howard Shaw back. It was just a really pleasant surprise, to be honest, to say, oh wow, so they might be getting Howard Shaw back. I mean, it's doing talks to get him back, but nevertheless, that probably means he's coming back. So, did take with a tiny bit of grain of salt, but nevertheless, he probably is coming back to score the show. But that also raises a few questions. Like, we're gonna hear the original, like the main Lord of the Rings, dun dun da 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 ba-da-dum 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 bum 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 da-da. I hope we don't, by the way, because that might kind of ruin, maybe not ruin, but maybe ruin. I don't know. Maybe like ruin our sort of love with Lord of the Rings songs, or I don't know. It's great that they bring Howard Shaw back. Howard Shaw is an incredible composer. He not only did a fantastic job with Lord of the Rings and the Hobbit films, he also did a fantastic job with the Scorsese film Gangs of New York. The score for Gangs of New York, pardon me there. The score for Gangs of New York is brilliant, by the way. But yeah, Howard Shaw is a fantastic composer. I just didn't expect them to get him back for this show. But nevertheless, it's exciting in my opinion. Yeah, I'm looking forward to hearing the score now. I know also brings a bit of intrigue there. Maybe they're trying to bring back that sort of feel from the Lord of the Rings films and the Hobbit films in a good way, in my opinion. Like I said before, immediately as you hear Howard Shaw scores in those films, it immediately immerses you into the world of Middle-earth, in whether it's the Hobbit films or Lord of the Rings films, which is why I love those films so much, because I think the score for all 6 Middle-earth films are just absolutely brilliant. And, maybe they're trying to have that sort of immersion in this show as well. But it was just a bit like, oh, they're getting Howard Shaw back. I didn't expect them to go that route, but it'll be interesting to see what happens there. But anyway, like I said before, there's over one thing I forgot to talk about. Oh yeah, they've already greenlit Season 2 as well. That was the only thing I was going to talk about. They've already greenlit Season 2, which is intriguing in my opinion, because potentially that shows that the bosses, the producers at Amazon Prime, obviously have faith in the show then. So it's not just like they're putting out Season 1 and hoping how it goes, like they're kind of doing with Dune at the moment. I mean, I know Dune's a bit of a different thing, but nevertheless, it's kind of the same, because Dune, they're putting out the first Dune movie out at the moment, and now Warner Bros. Is going to see how they do. Warner Bros. Is going to see how the first Dune movie does before they greenlight a second, but nevertheless, Amazon Prime isn't waiting to find out how the Lord of the Rings show is going to do. They're putting out the greenlit a second season before the first season even come out. So I think that's quite daring as well, considering the cost. Like, I know they're moving to the UK, so the cost is going to be a little bit less than, the first season. But no, that's just going to repeat that cost again. $465 million it costed the first season of the show. That's just so much. Honestly, that's kind of incredible that they got that amount of money to do this show. I mean, obviously, it's like that whole thing in Jurassic Park, spared no expense, but nevertheless, it just made me worry, like, maybe they're putting a bit too much quality on over there, or maybe not too much quality, but you get what I mean. Maybe they're trying to make it too stylistic, or just maybe trying to make it too award contending, and in the end, they should try and just making a really good show. They don't need this fantastic quality. They don't need to spend so much money on it. I mean, they might have to, but they don't need to. That's what I'm saying. They don't need to make a good show, because I think in the end, maybe the reason they're spending so much money, and this is pure speculation, but maybe the reason they're spending so much money is to have these fantastic visuals in there. But in the end, it's all going to come down to the story. You can have so much money put into a project, but if the story isn't there you go. It's not going to work out. It's not going to work out if you put so much money into a project, but your story isn't there and your script isn't there. But if the script is there, that's great. I mean, obviously there's 20 episodes. I hope that it feels like it needs to be 20 episodes, by the way. I hope that it doesn't feel like it's extended over 20 episodes simply because it can't, because I wouldn't like that, to be honest. But nevertheless, is it quantity over quality here? That's what I'm just starting to think. Is it quantity over quality? Do we really need 20 episodes? I mean, if it is 20 episodes and it feels like it needs to be, that's great. But do we really need 20 episodes, or is it sort of exaggerate over 20? And nevertheless, is it going to be as successful as the Amazon Prime wanted to? Obviously, we in a second season, but nevertheless, bear in mind, think about how much money they spent on this first season. Is it really going to be that successful? We'll have to wait and see. And also, the fact that again Howard Shaw back, well, not necessarily back, but the fact that again Howard Shaw in there to score the show as well does give me a bit of a faith, though. It was kind of like a bit of a silver lining. Because even so, I'm looking forward to this show. I'm not excited for it, but I would say I'm looking forward to it. So I think my excitement for Obi-Wan, for the Obi-Wan TV show, which is my most anticipated TV show for next year, is up there. That's my excitement for Obi-Wan. It's like up there. My excitement for Lord of the Rings is like there. I mean, I'm looking forward to it, but I'm not looking forward to it that much because I like Lord of the Rings films so much. But nevertheless, the fact that again Howard Shaw in there, who obviously won Oscars for his music on Lord of the Rings films, gets me with a bit of a silver lining, gives me a bit of faith that this show might be worth the while. I mean, I'm not saying that him being in there makes the show amazing just like that. That's not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is that with his involvement in there, maybe that gives me a bit of faith, because bear in mind, Howard Shaw's quite old now, and, well, I don't know how old he really is, but he's going to be quite old now, isn't he? But the thing is, though, the fact they're getting him in there, it gives me a bit of faith, because I expect he's quite choosy with stuff he composes nowadays, and maybe he's happy what he's seeing, and maybe he wants to work on this show. But we'll have to wait and see. Hopefully it's great. Hopefully it really surprised me, and hopefully we get a trailer soon as well, because I think people want to see a trailer for this show. I mean, obviously, like I said, it's less than a year away, but not that much less than a year away. Bear in mind, it's coming out September the 2nd, 2022. We're only on, 1 September the 22nd, so, it's got quite a while to come out yet. But nevertheless, I will see some new official images from the show. I can't wait to see a trailer, because hopefully that'll bring my excitement up from, like, there to there. And, hopefully it's great. Hopefully it really surprised me. But I gotta admit, I just don't have that much faith in it at the moment. But hopefully I'm proven wrong when a trailer comes out, when some new official images come out, and eventually when the series comes out with a whole. And hopefully I'm proven wrong, and hopefully it's absolutely fantastic, and hopefully it's even better than Game of Thrones. But I'll have to wait until this show comes out. Well, better than Game of Thrones when Game of Thrones is Prime, not Game of Thrones Season 8. But nevertheless, hopefully it's great when it comes out. And so that is the end of topic number 1 on this live stream for today. Bloody hell, I talked a lot about Lord of the Rings. I talked more about Lord of the Rings than I really thought I was going to. I'm saying Game of Thrones again. Saying getting mixed up already. Lord of the Rings hasn't even come out, and I'm getting mixed up with Game of Thrones. But nevertheless, I talked a lot about Lord of the Rings there. So I'm going to move into topic number 2 now. But before I do, I'm going to have a quick drink. Okay, let's move into topic number 2 on this live stream for today. And topic number 2 is kind of something I've already talked about. It's about Spider-Man No Way Home, which is my most anticipated TV show. I'm still talking about Lord of the Rings. I'm not talking about Lord of the Rings anymore. No, it's my most anticipated film. I almost said it again. My most anticipated film for this year still to come out. Honestly, I'm not entirely sure what it is, but I think after watching the Sam Raimi Spider-Man films recently, and I need to go actually and rewatch the Amazing Spider-Man films, by the way, because I'm going to review them on the channel before No Way Home comes out, but I just haven't got around to doing that, by the way. I've been busy watching Sex Education, that's what I've been doing. But yes, I will get around to reviewing the Amazing Spider-Man films, but seriously, after watching the Sam Raimi Spider-Man films, and after really enjoying the Tom Holland Spider-Man films, because they felt like a bit of a change from the rest of the MCU went to the end of the world, and they get the Tom Holland Spider-Man films where it's like, oh, Peter's in trouble, but it's not necessarily the end of the world. That's already good in my opinion. And, after enjoying all that and hearing all the rumours about No Way Home, like it's going to be multiverse, Alfred Molina's come back as Doc Ock, and you have Jamie Foxx as Electro. And there's rumours that, Willem Dafoe's going to be in there, Tom Maguire's going to be in there, Andrew Garfield's going to be in there, and so on and so on and so on. With all these rumours, I think this has quickly become it is becoming my most anticipated film for the rest of this year, and I really like that first trailer as well. But anyway, there's been a lot of speculation about this film recently, and especially last week when something came up online. Now, if we jump onto Google here, give me a sec, jump onto Google here, let's look on what IGN said about what's going on here, and how Tom Hardy's Venom might actually be involved in No Way Home. But anyway, this is what IGN says. A deleted picture of Tom Hardy in a hat has fans convinced Venom's joining the MCU. The Let There Be Kindness child is pictured wearing a Spider-Man No Way Home cap. Tom Hardy has been spotting wearing a Spider-Man No Way Home production hat, sparking speculation that Venom might soon be joining the MCU. Twitter user Marvel Update posted the now deleted photo, that's important by the way, the fact that it's deleted now, photo of Hardy sporting the baseball cap with the Spider-Man No Way Home logo on it. The tweet credited with Spider-Man Brazil account for the picture, but stated that originally came by the way of director and stunt coordinator Lynn O'Deong, I might pronounce his name, probably am, on Instagram. He has reportedly now moved the post from his grid. And so this was a post, Tom Hardy in his Spider-Man No Way Home production hat. And by the way, that does say Spider-Man No Way Home if you look closely. And so you go down here. There could be several reasons that Hardy is wearing a No Way Home hat without it necessarily meaning that Venom is headed for the MCU. However, it hasn't stopped fans from speculating over the possibility of Hardy's alien symbiote making an appearance in a future movie, perhaps even the next Tom Holland-led Spider-Man film, Spider-Man No Way Home. And I think that's a possibility. I think that's more of a possibility now than ever before. Because, bear in mind, the post was deleted. Now, if it was just like a gift from the No Way Home set, because obviously I think after this film there's gonna be like a Spider-Man v Venom film in the near distant future. Whether it's gonna be like the MCU or not, I don't know. Whether it's gonna be like Spider-Verse, Carnage and Venom or whatnot, with like the continuation of Venom and the Carnage, I don't know. But I think Venom 3 is gonna be Venom v Tom Holland Spider-Man. Tom Hardy's Venom v Tom Holland Spider-Man. Yes, it might just be a gift from the Spider-Man No Way Home production crew. That's a strong possibility. But I think what we've also got to know is the fact that the post was deleted. And I think if it was just a gift, I don't think the post would have been deleted. I don't think it would have. Now, that's just me speculating, but I just don't think that would have happened if it was a gift. Because I think he might be in No Way Home now. Now, I don't think he's going to be one of the main, quote-unquote 6 villains of Spider-Man No Way Home. By the way, you don't know there's going to be 6 villains of Spider-Man No Way Home. There's just a lot of speculation that apparently Sandman, Willem Dafoe's been Goblin, and, Wiz Evan's a Lizard, and obviously, we know Electro and Alpha Million are returning, but still, even so we know all those villains are returning, well, there's speculation that some of the villains are returning, but it looks like they might be. Even so we think that all of the villains are returning, I don't think that he's going to be part of the quote-unquote Sinister Six in this new Spider-Man No Way Home. Because bear in mind, this, quote-unquote Sinister Six, bear in mind, I'll take it with a grain of salt, nothing's been confirmed yet, but this quote-unquote Sinister Six that we're going to get in Spider-Man No Way Home, it's a multiversal Sinister Six. Bear in mind, they're bringing back, what we think they are. We think they are. We know for definite they're bringing back Alpha Million as Dr. Octopus. We know for definite that they're bringing back, Jamie Foxx's Electro. We know that for definite, but still, even so, they're bringing back characters we've already met before, and I can't see them introducing Tom Hardy's Venom v Tom Holland's Spider-Man in a movie that's already going to be having about 5 other villains in there, coming back to potentially fight Tom Holland Spider-Man alongside, Andrew Garfield Spider-Man and Tobey Maguire Spider-Man as well. I just can't see them reintroducing all those characters and then introducing Tom Hardy's Venom v Tom Holland Spider-Man in this movie alone. I might be completely wrong, and maybe it does happen, but would that be the best? Because bear in mind, you have Alpha Million's Dr. Octopus returning, you have Jamie Foxx's Electro returning, and at the same time, there's rumour that Willem Dafoe is coming back as Green Goblin. That's looking more and more likely, by the way. And, you bring back all these characters, it would just be a bit claustrophobic, and it wouldn't have the same effect I think Sony wants it to if Tom Hardy's Venom turns out to be one of this main quote-unquote 6 villains fighting off Tom Holland Spider-Man in the new Spider-Man movie. I just don't think it'll have the effect that Sony wants to have, because I think Sony, and this is pure speculation, but I think Sony is building up the fight between Tom Hardy's Venom and Tom Holland Spider-Man for Venom 3. Because bear in mind, we've had Venom 1, which was just, Venom for that weird symbiote thing, which, by the way, I'm not really the biggest fan of Venom 1, but we had Venom 1, and then we didn't really have, and then, Venom 2 is going to be Venom v Carnage. It's not Venom v Spider-Man yet, although I think that's what the third film's going to be. Because we're hearing, bear in mind, I spoke about this in one of my last streams. I don't know if it was my last live stream actually. It might be my last live stream. One of my last live streams anyway. I spoke about the fact that in some of the Venom 2 early reactions, people are teasing an insane post-credit scene. I'm just gonna put this out there. So we've had the No Way Home production hat. We've had this insane post-credit scene hinted. Maybe they're building up maybe they're building up Tom Hardy's Venom v Tom Holland Spider-Man, and what I think is going to happen is I think with this production hat, again pure speculation, but I think with this production hat, I think Tom Hardy will be appearing in Spider-Man No Way Home in uh, in a post-credit scene or either as a cameo part. I don't think he'd be one of the main villains in the film. I could be wrong, but I just think if you're introducing all those characters back, and by the way, I do think they are. I do think they're bringing Sandman, and I do think they're bringing Lizard in. I think they're bringing Willem Dafoe's Green Goblin, and I think they're doing all these things. Imagine bringing all these characters back and then having just Tom Hardy's Venom in there as well. It wouldn't have the same effect I think Sony wanted to, and maybe the same effect that I think the MCU wanted to as well. I think they're going to build it up there, but nevertheless, I do think that Tom Hardy, especially with this photo, will be making an appearance as Venom in the new Spider-Man movie. I do think he will be, and I think it will be either a cameo appearance or a post-credit scene. I just don't see it being a big main part, because I think that's what Sony wants Venom 3 to be. I think they want to have this movie, and then they want to have, Tom Holland's Spider-Man v Tom Hardy's Venom, because I think that's what they're building up to. People want to see it happen, especially between the new Spider-Man and the new Venom, because obviously we did have Spider-Man v Venom in Spider-Man 3, but it wasn't the way fans wanted, let's just say that. And I think, pardon me there, I think fans want to see this new Venom via this new Spider-Man as well. Personally, I do as well, actually, because I think Tom Hardy's a fantastic actor. I think Tom Holland is as well. And I think they've both done, well, I think Tom Holland's actually done a better job as Spider-Man than Tom Hardy has done a better job as Venom. But nevertheless, I do think they've done good jobs either way as their respective characters. And people want to see them fight each other in a movie together, but just them two together, probably. I mean, maybe have a side villain as well, like potentially, I don't know, maybe Woody Harrelson's Carnage survives Venom, that would be Carnage, and maybe he's in Venom 3 as well. But nevertheless, I think they want that to be the main focus of Venom 3. Pure speculation, but I'd be shocked. I'll be very surprised. I'll be shocked if Tom Hardy's Venom turns out to be one of the main quote-unquote 6 villains in Spider-Man No Way Home. I'll be very surprised if that's the case, because, I think Venom wants to build up on that fight between those two characters, and I just don't see it happening that early. But nevertheless, I could be wrong. Maybe the post-credit scene of Venom 2 is hinting at a connection between Morbius. Bear in mind, that's another Spider-Man villain and spin-off coming out. I think it's January next year. Maybe that's what the Venom 2 post-credit scene is hinting at. Maybe it's got nothing to do with Spider-Man. Maybe it's actually hinting at like a Venom and Morbius team up. And then obviously, we know that Kraven the Hunter movie is happening next year as well, which is going to star Aaron Taylor Johnson. So maybe that's what the post-credit scene of Venom 2 is hinting at. I don't know what the Venom 2 post-credit scene is, by the way. I haven't seen the movie yet, so of course I don't know. But yes, maybe that's what it's hinting at, and maybe there isn't any Spider-Man connection. But I think I'll be surprised, because honestly, I'd be surprised if that wasn't the case. I'd be surprised if there was no Spider-Man connection in the new Venom film, because just in the trailer alone, I didn't really talk about it actually, but there's like loads of hints to Spider-Man. You have Stephen Graham's character in the trailer reading the Daily Bugle at one stage, and then you have Woody Harrelson's character. I know this is a small thing, but you have Woody Harrelson Carnage, hitting a spider on a table, and I know that's a small thing, but it is in there. It didn't have to be in there. Andy Serkis didn't have to have that in the scene if he didn't want it. Sony didn't have to have it in the scene if the producers at Sony didn't want it in there. So just Woody Harrelson, hitting a spider on the table in the new in the Venom trailer. I think it was like the first Venom trailer. I might be wrong there. Just having that in there, I think it's hinting at something, because bear in mind, just that little moment of Woody Harrelson Carnage hitting the spider on the table. Sony didn't have to have it in there, and Andy Serkis didn't have to have it in there. Andy Serkis died, so the new Venom film didn't have to have it in there. Maybe Sony wanted it in there for a good reason. I think they're hinting at something, and I think fans are starting to pick up on that. And I think that this deleted picture of Tom Hardy in a Spider-Man No Way Home production hat is potentially saying something. I think it should be noted that it's been deleted. I think that should be noted. I think if it was kept online, maybe we'd be like, oh, I don't think he's in it then. But it wasn't deleted. Oh, sorry. It was deleted. I don't know what's going on about that. No, it was deleted. Which is the important thing. Which makes me think that either he's going to have a small cameo part in the new Tom Holland Spider-Man film, Spider-Man No Way Home, or he's going to be in the post-credit scene. I might be wrong, but otherwise, why would you have the production hat? Why would the post be deleted? There's other reasons why I might have the production hat. Maybe he was on set, maybe just visited set for the day. Or maybe, the production team at Spider-Man No Way Home thought, what, Tom Hardy's quite a nice guy, and he's obviously going to do a Spider-Man film soon with Tom Holland. He probably will be, by the way. Why don't we just send him a production hat from for our set of No Way Home? Maybe that's the case. But why would you delete it then? Why would they delete it? Why would the post be deleted? So I personally think that Tom Hardy's Venom will be making an appearance in Spider-Man No Way Home, not as one of the main villains. I might be wrong, but not as one of the main quote-unquote 6 villains of the film, but more as a cameo part or more as a post-credit scene, which could potentially set up Venom 3. It makes sense, and that's why I think that's going to go. Could be wrong, but I've got a feeling on this one I might be right. And so that is the end of topic number 2 on this live stream for today. So that is the end of my topics on this live stream for today. And I'd better say already, I better just round everything up now. So we're getting to the end of this live stream now. Thank you for watching this live. If you have been watching this live, according to YouTube, no one has been watching this live. But if my YouTube algorithm is lying to me, thank you if you are watching this live and my YouTube is just lying to me. Thank you if you are watching this live. And also, thank you for being watching this in playback. And also, remember, if you have a topic you want me to talk about in my next live stream, please do let me know in the comment section below. And also, if you haven't yet, please do click down below and like subscribe on this live stream. And look forward to many more, both film and TV views, come very soon on this channel. See you guys again soon. But bye for now. Bye. I just got to end this stream yet. Bye.